You will never hear it coming. That's the first thing to understand about a tiger. 300 kilos of muscle, striped to melt into shadow, and it can move through a forest without breaking a twig. By the time a deer knows it's there, it's already too late. So here's the uncomfortable part. The most efficient land predator in Asia is also the one that's quietly disappearing. And the reason should bother you. Start with the body. A tiger is built from the ground up for one job: bringing down animals bigger than itself. Powerful, muscular, a heavy head, paws like padded hammers, and a long tail for balance mid-strike. Then there's the coat. Orange fur, black vertical stripes. To us it looks loud, almost decorative. In dappled forest light it does the opposite. It breaks up the outline until the animal simply isn't there anymore. The tiger is the largest cat alive. And everything about it, the size, the color, the silence, is tuned toward a single moment. The ambush. Here's how it actually hunts. Not a chase. Not a long pursuit across open ground. A tiger takes its prey by ambush. It waits. It moves low, slow, closing the distance meter by meter, using every bush and every shadow. It preys mainly on hoofed mammals, deer, wild pig, the big grazers of the forest. And its whole strategy depends on one thing: the prey never seeing it until the last second. Think about what that means for the animal it's stalking. There's no warning. No noise. No time to run. One moment it's grazing. The next, the ground behind it comes alive. Now the part people get wrong. A tiger isn't a pack animal. It lives almost entirely alone. Each one holds a home range, a stretch of forest it patrols and defends against others of its own sex. A male's territory overlaps several females, and that's the only time they really come together. Everything else it does by itself. It hunts alone. It kills alone. And it walks miles of forest that it considers entirely its own. That solitude is part of why it's so hard to find, and, as you'll see, part of why it's so easy to lose. A mother usually gives birth to 2 or 3 cubs. They stay with her for about 2 years, learning to stalk, to hide, to kill. Then they leave. They have to. Each young tiger sets out to find its own patch of forest, its own territory, and that's where the trouble starts now. Because there's less forest every year. The empty land a young tiger needs simply isn't there anymore. It wanders further. It runs into people. And a hungry tiger with nowhere left to hunt is a very different animal. When the wild prey disappears, tigers don't just fade quietly. They turn to what's left: livestock, at the edges of villages, where the forest meets the farms. That's the collision the experts call human-wildlife conflict, and it's a grim math problem. Fewer deer means a tiger goes looking closer to people. Closer to people means a tiger gets killed. And there's the other trade: poaching. Hunted for its fur, and for body parts sold for so-called medicine. A dead tiger, in some markets, is worth more than a live one. So the same qualities that make it magnificent make it a target. Here's the number that should stop you. Since the early 20th century, tigers have lost at least 93% of the land they once roamed. They're already gone from West and Central Asia. Gone from huge stretches of China. Gone from the islands of Java and Bali entirely. What's left isn't one great range, it's scattered fragments, islands of forest in a sea of everything else. The tiger is listed as endangered, and even recently its range has kept shrinking, by more than half since the late 90s. An apex predator. The top of its food chain. And it's being erased from the map piece by piece. It isn't over yet. Every country the tiger still lives in protects it by law. There are anti-poaching patrols walking those forests. There are teams counting what's left, tracking individual animals. And in some places, they're stitching the fragments back together: wildlife corridors, strips of protected land that let a tiger move from one forest to the next without crossing a road or a village. There are even plans to bring tigers back to places they've vanished from. It's slow. It's fragile. But it's a line being held. Think about what a tiger really is. The perfect ambush. A predator so complete it has no rival in its own forest. Nothing hunts it. Nothing outstalks it. And yet the one thing it was never built to survive is us, the slow erasure of the trees it needs and the prey it lives on. The most dangerous animal in these forests isn't the one you can't hear coming. It's the quiet, everyday disappearance of the forest itself. And when the last of it goes, the silence a tiger leaves behind is the kind you don't get back. If this one got under your skin, subscribe. We go this deep on a different apex predator every week. Tell me in the comments which one you want next.